Hey guys, today I'll be doing a tutorial on jumbo lemonade braids. If you're interested in this look, then stay tuned. Okay, so I already sectioned off the top, the front of the hair, and now I'm going to section off at the back. And what I'm going to do is section off starting at the top of the ear, the tip of the ear. And I'm just going to do like a curve. I'm not going to go straight across. I'm going to do a curve angle, and I'm going to part from ear to ear. So on both ears, it will be at the tips. So when you see this ear, how it's parted, it'll be the same on the other side because the braids are going to the side. Okay, so I sectioned off that part and I clipped away the remaining hair, and I split that section into two halves. And now I am going to use the Lottabody edge control to mold, shape and mold the hair. And I'm going to mold the hair in the direction that I would like the braid to be. So I'm just going to smooth that throughout the section and just mold it the way I would like it to go. So you see the part, you want to mold it all in that same direction. And this is how it looks after the molding is done. And as you can see, I did it exactly the way I would like the braid to lay, and it's going to start like a triangle. And yeah, so I'm just taking out the hair that I need, and I'm going to just separate it. So when I do the braids, I start with a small strand of hair and gradually and let the hair gradually get thicker. So I start with the smallest pieces, and then I go with it, then I later add the thicker pieces. So you see the different sizes that I'm using, so just follow that method. And I'm adding red to the hair as well. Okay, so I decided to turn my client around so you guys could better see the way I braid. So you see, I'm just going to grab, the basic 3 strands of hair, how you normally braid. If you don't know how to braid at all, you want to go to another tutorial before you go to this one. This is for people that already know how to braid. So you see me, and I'm just going to add some more hair. And you see that's a thick piece of hair. You want to grab about that much. And these are jumbo lemonade braids, so you want them to be really thick because that's the look that you're going for. If you want them to be like medium lemonade braids, and you can make them smaller, but this is for jumbo lemonade braids, and you want them to be thick, so you want to add a good amount of hair. And when you're adding like thicker hair, like sometimes it can be hard to grip, you just want to make sure you just use your strength without pulling the person's hair too hard. Of course, I'm into healthy hair care, and just grip the hair and try not to let it slide. Just hold. If you get any tangles, hold the hair with one hand and use the other to tangle with your fingers. You could grab a little comb to get little flyaways to lay down. You could grab a little more edge control or jam or pomade to smooth down the person's natural real hair so it can lay down. And as you see, I'm just continuing to braid. And it's okay if you go a little slow. You want the hair to look nice. You don't have to go rush and go fast. You want the hair to come out nice. So if it's your first time, just take your time and just make sure you smooth all of the hair. And you see how nice the braid comes out. That's how you would like your braid to look. Going from small to big, thin to thick. Basically, you want the braid to be gradual, so I'm going to go over that braid with my edge control. Just making sure it's nice and neat and has the hold. And I also go over my braids with spritz and hairspray. You'll see me do that later on. So I'm grabbing a piece of hair to add to the end of the cornrow. So I'm just going to grab the hair and continue to braid the end of the cornrow. So I'm just going to finish cornrolling. And then once I get to the base of the cornrow, the ending of the cornrow, I am going to grab the hair that I showed you guys and do the same method that I've been doing by adding the braiding hair to the underneath the braid rather than on top. So I'm going to grab that hair and add it underneath. So I'm placing the hair underneath the cornrow, and I'm going to do the 3-strand braid method and continue braiding. While I'm braiding, I'm smoothing the hair and making sure I pay attention to her natural hair, making sure her natural hair is not sticking out or sticking up, and that I'm smoothing that her natural hair and smoothing the braiding hair as well, making sure I have a nice seamless braid and just taking my time, making sure the braid's nice and smooth, and making sure the thickness of the braid is consistent. If you notice that the braid starts to get thin, you grab some hair and add some more to it so it could keep the thickness. And once I get to the end of the braids, I do let them get a little thin. I don't keep them super duper thick at the end. Some people do, and it comes out nice, but I like it to be thick throughout the braid, and then towards the end to get a little thin. So yeah, but I'm just going to continue to braid it. So you want to make sure you just hold the hair, and if you get any tangles, you take those tangles out the way you know how. I use my fingers. If a tangle is really hard, I try to get a comb or a brush. So just use your methods that you like. I'm using my method, and when I try to tangle hair, I use my hands first, and then if it's too rough, I go ahead and add a comb or a brush. So I'm just going to do that, make sure I smooth her natural hair with the braiding hair, and make sure I get a firm grip. So I'm just continually braiding down the hair. I'm just going to continue to braid, and wherever I see there's a little thinness, like the braid is getting too thin, I'll add the hair. So I decided to add some hair to the rest of the braid, and this is going towards the end of the braid. So I grabbed just a little hair, not a lot, because as I said before, I like it to be thick and then towards the end to get a little thin. So I'm going to continue to do the same method that I've been doing by adding the braiding hair underneath the braid. So that's what I'm doing, just adding it underneath and just braiding the hair down. And you're going to see that I don't braid all the way to the tips. I'm going to braid, and then once I'm done all the braids, I'll continue to braid down a little bit how I desire, and I leave a little bit of the ends just straight down. That's just the way I like to braid. Some people braid all the way down to the ends and it comes out beautiful, but I always seem to go back to just leaving a little hair at the end. So now I am going to start the second braid, which is the other half of where I divide the hair in the other clip, and I'm going to do it the same way. I molded the hair already in the direction I want to go, and I start off with a small amount of hair, braiding hair, and braid down a little and grab a piece that's a little thicker and put the hair underneath the braid, and I braid down. So you see it's around the same size, but it's a little more, and I continue to cornrow braid down and just do that a little, and then grab another piece that's a little thicker and continue that method all the way down. So I'm adding in some red here. So this is where I decided to add the red hair. You could add, if you want to add color here to the braid, if you're not just doing one color, you can add it wherever you want. I decided to add it to this specific spot. I add the hair, the red, to different spots and different braids. But yep, and you can see that the braid is getting gradual. It's going from small to big. So I'm just gonna continue to braid down. So I finished the back section and now I am going to the front and I'm going to part the hair in another curved motion. All the braids will be curved in like a curved angle, and I'm going to part the hair at the arch of her eyebrow where her eyebrow arches at. So that's what I'm doing. Just starting off. It's going to have like the shape of the part in the beginning is kind of like a triangle. That's what it reminds me of. So you're going to see that your part should be a little triangular. I guess you could say that's what I see. But it's curved, so I'm just going to continue to line up the part and make sure it's nice and straight and that it's going on a curved angle. Okay, so like the back, in the front I'm going to have two halves as well, and I section the hair off and I put away the hair that I'm not going to be braiding. I put away the one section. I clip that away to get out my way, and I already started the beginning of the braid doing the same method that I've been doing, and I already moved the hair. So you want to move the hair in the direction that you want the braid to go. So you want to smooth the hair at the top of body part, and then by the ears and everything, you want to smooth it all together like that, and just continue to add the braiding hair the way we've been doing it. And as you see some of her hair is left out in the front, and that is because I am doing baby hair into her hair. I'm not just going to do regular braids, I'm going to also do baby hair, and at the end of the video you'll see the tutorial clip. So I left that hair out and I do the baby hair last after everything. I don't do it first or while I'm braiding, I do it last. So I just have her hair out, trying not to get that hair into the braids. And I'm just going to continue to braid the hair the way I've been doing, making sure I do from thin to thick, making sure the braid is gradual, and making sure that I braid the hair in a curved angle. The same way that I part the hair is the same way that I want the braid to go. So whatever, when you're doing braids, whatever, however you want the braid to curve, you want to part the hair first that way, so that the braid, it could be easy for you to go in that curve. It's like it's leading the way for you, so to speak, and it just looks way better. So when you do that, you want to, when you braid hair in an angle, you want to make sure you part it in an angle as well. So I'm just doing the same method that I've been doing, smoothing the hair, making sure I add hair gradually throughout the braids. Okay, so I finished doing that braid, you guys. I didn't show it because I'm doing it the same way that I did all the rest of my braids. You know, keep on, make sure it's gradual. And I did the last braid of the braid from that section, the last one, the same way that I did that braid. I started off the same way, had it going curved the same way, and now I'm going to do the front section, which is the very last section. And this section is going to be 3 cornrows. So I started the part where the red starts, like around where the red starts, and it's going to be like a crescent shape, like a crescent half moon type of shape. And I am going to use my Lottabody edge control that I've been using. I'm going to use that to mold the hair. So you'll see me put the edge control on the left and the right side, and I'm going to use that to smooth down the flyaway hair, smooth down all the hair, and mold it into the shape that I want the hair to be, and to also mold it into the direction that I want the braid to be. Now I am going to part for the second braid, and I'm going to do the part in the same curve, the same motion. It's going to be the same way. So this is for the second braid. I am parting. So this is how this part should look. It's going in the same direction like I said, you see. And I braided all of the braids. So the second braid and the third braid, I braided it in the same way that I braided the first braid. And now what I like to do after I finish braiding is going over all of the braids that I do with any braid style that has extensions, and take a pair of regular cutting scissors and go over the braids by cutting away the flyaway hairs. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just showing you guys how to do that. And now I'm showing you guys how I spritz and spray the braids. So I'm going to use spritz and hairspray all over the cornrows to make sure that braids stay in place, stay nice and neat, and it hardens up the hair. And once you're done this, you can sit your client underneath the dryer. You won't see me use a dryer in this video for the sake of the video. So I just didn't use the dryer for this video. And now I am going to dip her hair in hot water, and I'm using an electric tea kettle. I got this from Target. You get it from Target or Walmart. And yep, I'm just gonna dip her hair. Be mindful not to splash any water on her or burn her, because this water is very, very hot. And as you notice, I didn't go all the way up the strands of her hair. Some people do, but I try to keep the integrity of the person's hair. Like if it goes all the way up and the person has a decent amount of hair, it's going to the hot water is going to touch their real natural hair, and that could you know, affect their hair. You know, it could burn their hair off or make it thinner. So I'm trying not to go up too high. Like, you know, if you still see flyaways up the strands, you could always use your scissors and cut away the hairs, or use some type of holding like mousse or hairspray on the part that you didn't dip, if you would like to use my method, so that the hair can look nice and sleek all throughout the braids. But I try not to go too high because I don't want to ruin anyone's real hair. So now I'm using mousse, and I'm using Lottabody mousse, the blue, and I believe it's the coconut oil line for Lottabody. I'm using that mousse, and I'm going to clip the ends of her hair. So I'm going to start at the ends and clip away a little because she wants to keep the braid long. You could cut it shorter if you want. And I'm going to dip her hair again with the hot electric tea kettle, just to get away the weaviness, because sometimes the hair could get wavy. If you have a technique that you do where your hair, when you dip it and it never gets wavy, you can let me know. Some people, once they dip, they just put a bowl underneath on the floor and let the hair drip. But I use a towel. And if you get any dents in the braids, you could just use your fingers to play around with it to take out any dents. And I'm going to section her hair out the way. I'm going to roll her hair and clip it out the way, and then we're going to get started on the baby hair. Okay, so now that we have all of the hair out of the way, we're going to start on the baby hair. And I am going to use the mixture that she sent me mixed up, which was the Murray's and the Lottabody. And I'm going to use that to layer down her edges. I'm just going to do it in a downward motion, no specific type of way, just going down, just smoothing down her edges to get it prepped for the baby hair. So I'm just smoothing her hair down to make sure it lays down, and it's going to, and as you see, I'm going in a downward motion. So yeah, I'm just going to continue to do that. Okay, so for the first part, I'm just going to smooth it in a circular motion, and it's going to be circular for all the parts. So I start going one direction and I'm going to the right. So I'm going to smooth that first part, in a circular direction to the right. And it's going to be going towards her braids. So you see me smoothing that down and doing it in that motion. Okay, so now I am going to move on to the second part, the second section, and I'm going to do this one in the opposite direction that I did the first one. So I'm going to do a swirl circular motion, and I'm going to do that to the left, and it's going to be going towards her face. So if you see me doing it, you see that it's going towards her face rather than towards the braids, and that's what I would say is the left, and I'm just swirling it. And for this part, you see that little piece of hair is very long, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it and just smooth the hair. And here are the results of the baby hair. I really love it. It's so pretty. I hope you guys love it as well. And I just thank you guys for tuning into this video. Bye.